Welcome back to Modifications. A couple months ago, I bought this bone stock NC1 Miata with 186,000 miles on it. It needed some immediate attention, but now that it's running okay, I've shifted my focus over to building it up in the looks and suspension department. I did a few things to it in my last video, so if you haven't had the chance to check it out, go watch it. Today, I'm going to continue the aesthetic improvements with a couple new additions. Garage door liner for side splitters, and one of my favorite additions, an eBay carbon fiber duckbill spoiler from China. So how did these turn out? How did I install them? Let's check it out. There's a lot of options out there for side skirts, side splitters, etc. I understand that these are supposed to be designed for functionality, but let's face it, most of us just do it for looks. Years ago, and I'm talking like 10 years ago, I saw a trend of weird home improvement materials being used to create front lips, side splitters, etc. I attached myself to this trend actually and started using garage door liner as side splitters. This idea got big enough that even a company called Easy Lip basically started selling the same stuff and marketed it as a lip kit. That was hilarious. My willingness to do this came solely from making the car look lower, not functionality. I'm not a fan of when a car has a large front lip but no side skirts. The lines kind of get ruined for me. Here's a quick list of the materials you need. As for the lip itself, you can find it at Home Depot, and that's really the only place I've found this specific one, and you can see that in the picture. It's hard to find it online. Otherwise, you can also order the Easy Lip. This install method that I'm doing is not for the faint of heart. You must be willing to put some screws and holes in the bottom or underside of your car. You might not want to, but that's the method I used. The first thing you want to do is give yourself some room to screw and drill under the car. I use my ramps and jacks to jack up one side at a time. Next, you want to make sure the lip is malleable, so it can lose its round form. And to do this, just squeeze it the way I'm doing it in this video. I then clean the underside with a detailer and microfiber. You probably want to do a little bit more than I did, but that's just the method I used. I usually just start on one side, so in this case I started on the rear. I hold the material up against the car right where I want it to end, and then I screw one self-tapping screw in, and you want to do it right about in the middle of the top lip. You also want to do it far enough in where you don't actually see the screw from the side of the car. After that, I just move forward slowly, putting a screw in about every 4 to 6 inches. I'll explain why I do so many in a second. The odd part is where the openings for the jack points are, since there's lack of a place to screw them into. I usually try to put one directly on each side of that opening to prevent the sagging look I'll show you in a minute. As I'm putting the screws in, I'm also pulling a little bit on the liner, so there's no sag and there's some pressure to keep it straight. Once you get to the other end, you can use a marker to mark the end and then cut it, but I just cut it while I was holding it up. Now take a step back and make sure there's no waviness, as that's really what makes this look even tackier than it needs to. If you see sections sagging or looking wavy, add more screws. At this point, put all the holes in the bottom. It's a $5,000 car, I wasn't worried about it. You can try to minimize the amount of screws you use by using a good double-sided tape and an adhesion promoter after doing a really good cleaning. I'll talk a little bit more about this adhesion promoter in a few minutes. And you're basically done at this point, so take a step back and look at how much lower your car looks, I guess. It's not car show worthy, but it gets the job done for what I wanted. And you'll be surprised how many people ask me what I did to get those side splitters. The NC Miata does not look that great to me without a spoiler in the rear. That's just my personal preference, so I was on a mission to get one for this car. In my last Miata, I was using the Carbon Fiber Duckbill fiberglass spoiler, and I just plasti dipped it black. I loved the look of that, but it was one of those been there done that situations. I looked at a couple other options, but I didn't like the squared off duckbill. I did, however, like the rally backer spoiler a lot, but to me that looks really good with a wider fender in the rear. I then came across this duckbill design on eBay, and it was carbon fiber. It wasn't the cheapest option, but I opted for the carbon fiber finish so I didn't have to deal with fiberglass, bodywork, paint, etc. Look, I get it. It's always a risk ordering a part from China. You never know about quality, shipping, damages, fitment, getting the right part, etc. However, this seller had really good reviews, and right after I ordered it, they had reached out to me immediately. The day they shipped it out, they actually sent me a bunch of pictures, and it took about 3 weeks from order to delivery. So how did it turn out? Let's go take a look.
Okay, so first a quick unboxing. This is from China. There's a little hole in it. I don't think it affected it because I think it's pretty well wrapped inside. So let's go ahead and open this up. It's pretty well wrapped. Now it says MX-5 NC soft, so I'm hoping this is the right one. It's really well bubble wrapped, so I'm going to open this in a sec. Cleaning cloth, microfiber, a couple stickers that say Kazento if anybody wants these, and white gloves. And within all that, let's show you this close up. Let's see if you guys can see this. Look at the finish. The edges, super clean. Looks really nice. Lots of contact points for the double-sided tape, which they didn't include. These are the two tapes that I would consider. The Scotch or the Gorilla, they're both rated for 30 pounds. Same thing, same inches, 60, 60. Nice gel finish. So let's get it on the car and see what it looks like. Oh, hell yes. Oh God, it's so good. So good. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Gorilla tape to all the contact points. I'm gonna wipe this down. It's got like a layer of dust. So we're gonna do that first. Okay, so you can see it is taped. Now, it looks a little odd, but over is better than under because I don't want this thing flying off. The next thing is to go ahead and get the emblems off because this is in the way of the emblems. If you haven't taken emblems off before, it's super easy. You just apply a little bit of heat. You can use like a fishing line or something to kind of pry the letters off. Now I'm just going to clean around the edges.
At this point, I recommend using the 3M adhesion promoter that I talked about earlier. I get these at Advanced Auto Parts, or you can get them on Amazon, but I haven't had good luck finding them anywhere else. Another option is to just get some rubbing alcohol and apply it with a microfiber cloth. Really, it's just designed to get rid of the contaminants so this tape can adhere properly. As to applying the spoiler onto the car, I would definitely recommend having another person to help you, and you make sure you put it down evenly and in the center. You could always use tape to mark the center points as well. I did not. I left mine in the hands of the car gods.
So it's slightly off on that side. So I'll show you. I think we should have put it a little forward. And this all looks like it's connected. Here you see a little bit of it off. That part needs to have moved maybe 1 degree that way. Okay. Oh God, I love that look.
I would also recommend coating this with ceramic coating or some kind of UV protection to slow the fade of the carbon fiber, especially if you're going to park this car outside in the sun. Well, there you have it, everybody. A couple more things to make this Miata look a little bit different and more aggressive. In the next video, we're going to cover the front lip, the rear valens, and the exhaust tips I installed. So like, subscribe, and continue my journey with me. Thanks for watching. Bye.